Welcome to lecture 8 of FIR filter designs. In the previous session we have seen the representation of ideal filter, that is y of n equal to c into x of n minus n naught, and thus it is also derived that the filter output is simply a delayed and amplitude scaled version of the input signal. So therefore in this session let us concentrate on what are the characteristics of practical frequency selective filters. Now to start with, let us know some points about the ideal filters. So ideal filters are not causal in nature and hence they are not physically realizable. So here the meaning of causality is y of n should depend only on the past and the present inputs. So therefore causality has an important implications in the design of the frequency selective filters. So what are those implications of this causality? Okay. The first one is the frequency response h of omega, okay, so cannot be 0. So this is what is the first implications that is put forth by the causality on the filters, that is the frequency response h of omega cannot be 0 except at finite points in the frequency. And also the second implication is the magnitude of h of omega cannot be constant in any finite range of frequencies, and the transition from the pass band to stop band cannot be infinitely sharp. So therefore the other implication is the magnitude h of omega and the phase theta of omega cannot be chosen arbitrarily, as the real and imaginary parts of h of omega are interdependent and they are related by the Hilbert transformations. So therefore the causality imposes these kind of restrictions on the frequency response characteristics. So therefore as ideal filters are not practically achievable, okay, so therefore now the design is done by concentrating on a class of LTI systems, so which have the property of causality and they are physically realizable also. Okay. So therefore the LTI system is defined by the difference equation. So we know that y of n equal to minus summation ak into y of n minus k. So where k is from 1 to m, where m will be the length, plus summation k equal to, so 0 to m minus 1 bk into x of n minus k. Okay, so let us call this as equation 1. Okay, so using this equation of the LTI system, so it is further possible to define what is this h of omega also. So therefore in this case h of omega will be given by bk into e power minus j omega k. So where k is from 0 to m minus 1, this ratio divided by 1 plus summation ak, where k is again, so 1 to m e to the power of minus j omega k. Okay. So this is the frequency response of the such an LTI system which possesses the property of causality. Okay. So therefore now we can define the basic filter design problem is nothing but to approximate any of the ideal frequency response characteristics with the system that has a frequency response given by the previous equation 2. So how it is done? By properly selecting the coefficients. Okay. So therefore whenever we say it is a digital filter design problem, then it is nothing but approximating any of the ideal frequency response. So ideal frequency response is, it may be a low pass filter, okay, so which has an ideal response as we know, okay, a sharp transition, or it can be a HPF, so or any other filter design for that matter. Okay. So to approximate any of the ideal frequency response characteristics, with what we have to approximate with a system that has a frequency response given by equation 12, equation 2, by properly selecting the coefficients. So what are the coefficients? So in the previous equation ak and bk are the filter coefficients. So by designing these values, so it is possible to approximate with the ideal filter characteristics. and that equation 2 is given as it is. So h of omega equal to summation, so here we have bk into e power minus j omega k divided by 1 plus summation ak into e power minus j omega k. Okay. So in this, if you design ak and bk such that the filter corresponds to the ideal features, then that design itself is known as the basic digital filter design problem. So therefore now the ideal filter characteristics, okay, so they are required, but in every case they are not necessary. Okay. So what are the ideal filter characteristics? We expect that in the pass band the gain should be 1, that is V0 should be equal to Vi, and it should have the linear phase characteristics. So the ideal characteristics of the filters are desirable, but they are not necessary. Okay. So by relaxing the conditions, okay, it is possible to realize the causal filters, so which are going to approximate the ideal filters. That is, the design is possible only if some relaxation is given to these constraints. Okay. And when we design, okay, so it will approximate the ideal filters. So therefore it is not necessary, okay, that always the magnitude response. So how do we write the magnitude response? H of omega, magnitude response should be constant in the entire passband of the filter. This is what is the ideal condition, that is always this H of omega should be constant. But what the relaxation can be given is, it is not necessary that the magnitude H of omega should be constant in the entire passband of the filter. Okay. So a small amount of passband is tolerable in the passband region. Similarly, coming to the stop band region, it is not necessary for the filter response H of omega to be 0. Okay. So even a small amount of ripple is allowed even in the stop band region also. So these are nothing but relaxation given to the ideal filter design. Okay. So a small amount of ripple is acceptable in the pass band, as well as a small amount of ripple is acceptable even in the stop band region also. And also there is one more important region that is found in the frequency response of the filters, which is nothing but the transition region. Okay. So the transition of the frequency response, so from the pass band to stop band, it is known as the transition band or the transition region of the filter. Okay. So the transition region, so we know that ideally it is 0 only. So that is ideal filters, they have a very ideal characteristics, that is totally the transition region is 0. Immediately after the end of pass band region, immediately the response will switch to 0. But in the practically designed filters, a transition region is allowed. Okay. So and this band we call it as a transition band. Okay. So therefore now let us know what are the magnitude characteristics of physically realizable filters. Okay. So let us draw the magnitude characteristics of physically realizable filters. Okay. So therefore we have the characteristics like this. So on the x axis we are going to plot the frequency, of course it is the frequency characteristics, and on the y axis it is nothing but the H of omega, magnitude of H of omega is plotted. Okay. And then now just now we have discussed that what are the relaxations. The pass band, stop band, they can have some tolerable amount of ripples. So therefore considering that fact, a practically realizable filter, okay, so it can have a very small level where ripples are allowed in the pass band, and the ripples are shown like this. And now when it comes to the stop band, okay, so there also some ripples are allowed, and the maximum level of those ripples can be specified. Okay. And here this variation in the pass band transition, okay, so this is known as the pass band ripple, and it is found that the pass band ripple is between 1 plus delta 1 to 1 minus delta 1. So why it is so? Because in the ideal characteristics what we have, this is what is the ideal characteristics. So where the magnitude response is exactly equal to 1 in the pass band region, So it means that V0 is exactly equal to Vi. That's why the value is 1 here. But whereas in practical characteristics, okay, so the ripples are above and below this. That's why the maximum, if you consider delta as allowable ripple in the passband, then it can be practically 1 plus delta 1 to 1 minus delta 1 variation can be allowed. Similarly, in the stop band region also, the delta 2 can be considered as allowable ripples in the stop band. And between this pass band and the stop band, so here I can write this entire section as a stop band. Okay, so now here is an important region. So this we call it as a transition band. So this is transition band because the characteristics is switching from its pass band region to stop band region. Okay. So therefore now we have some important frequencies to be marked on the characteristics. They are WP and WS. WP and the WS. So therefore on the magnitude characteristics of physically realizable filters, what are the important parameters we have? Delta 1, delta 2, WP and WS. So delta 1 is related with the pass band ripple magnitude. Delta 2 is related with the stop band ripple magnitude. Now this omega p, it is concerned with the frequency. Okay, so it defines the pass band edge frequency. Similarly, omega s, it is a stop band edge frequency. Okay, so therefore WP, what is this pass band edge frequency? Okay, so now starting from 0 to WP, this entire range is a pass band. So therefore the frequency WP is the edge of this particular pass band. So that's why omega p is known as the pass band edge frequency. Similarly, from omega s onwards, stop band is considered. So therefore it is the beginning of the stop band region. So it is named as the stop band edge frequency. Okay, so therefore what are the important terminology we have is, first one, delta 1. Delta 1 is known as pass band ripple. Similarly, there is a delta 2. Delta 2, this is stop band ripple. And another one is omega p. This is a frequency term. So this is known as pass band edge frequency. And omega s is the stop band edge frequency. Okay, so here omega p defines actually the edge of the pass band, omega s defines beginning of the stop band. So therefore you can subtract omega s minus omega p. So this actually defines what? Width of transition band. Okay, so these are the important terminologies associated with this. Okay, so now the width of this pass band itself is called as bandwidth of the filter. Okay, and ripple in the pass band varies in the limits 1 plus or minus delta 1. Similarly, the ripple in the stop band is denoted as delta 2. Okay. So now in order to accommodate large dynamic range, okay, inside the graph of the frequency response, okay, so logarithmic scale is usually used. Okay, so therefore the pass band ripple is usually mentioned in terms of dBs. Okay, so pass band ripple it is usually in the dBs. It is written as 20 log to base 10 delta 1 dB in a decibel scale. And similarly for delta 2 also it is 20 log delta 2 dB. Okay, so therefore for a filter design problem, okay, so we can have these set of specifications to be given. That is, whenever we ask to design a filter, so these are the specifications which need to be given. What are those? The first one is the maximum tolerable pass band ripple. Okay, so how I can write that in terms of symbol? The maximum tolerable pass band ripple, that is nothing but delta 1. It is about delta 1. Okay. Similarly, another second specification that should be given is the maximum tolerable stop band ripple, which is nothing but delta 2. Okay. And also the passband stop band information should also be given. So pass band edge frequency, that is omega p, and stop band edge frequency omega s. Okay. So therefore these 4 parameters, delta 1, delta 2, omega p, omega s, okay, have to be specified for any design. So based on these specifications, so it is possible to select the parameters AK. It is possible to select the parameters AK and BK. So what are these? These are nothing but the coefficients, okay, in the filter response characteristics, which are given by the very first equation 1 and 2. Okay. So with these specifications, so we can calculate what are these AK and BK, such that they are going to give the best approximation of the desired specifications. Okay. So therefore the degree to which the h of omega approximates the specification, so depends on the selection of the filter coefficients AK and BK values. That is, the coefficient values are most important now. Okay. So if they are properly calculated, then they will only decide up to what maximum extent our design filter characteristics are going to match with the ideal characteristics. Okay. And also it depends on the number of coefficients that we are going to choose. Okay. So these are the important terminologies as well as the specifications in the filter design problem. So in the next session we will take what are the different methodologies we have for the FIR filter designs. Thank you.